If you guys are just tuning in, what's up? Hope your weekend is going fantastic. So Gutter Cat Gang Twitter accounts were compromised yesterday. Malicious tweets were posted Friday afternoon, July 7th. The team has regained control of the known compromised accounts. We promptly reached out to our contacts at Twitter, law enforcement, and mobile network providers, as well as taking steps to alert the community from uncompromised accounts. As a reminder, Gutter Cat announcements are always posted on several channels. There will not be any surprise drops or activations. When in doubt, please contact the Gutter team on Discord or by email. In conclusion, that's another account that is trying to drain people. The part above, when in doubt, there will not be any surprise drops or activations from any NFT that you own. Yo, we only have mint hot chocolate. Blech, not a fan. Did you see the president of Polygon is stepping down? Ryan Wyatt, president of Polygon Labs, has announced he'll be stepping down from his position at the end of the month. He'll be replaced by the project's chief legal officer. NFT news. Type in NFT news, guys. The world doesn't care if it's not Bored Ape related. Justin Bieber's Bored Ape has lost more than 1.2 million in value. This week in the metaverse, Bored Ape Yacht Club is sinking its floor prices spiral. This is a great screenshot. Something that we're going to be doing later, the MLB's virtual ballpark that's built by Improbable, the same people that are doing the Other Side demo and game itself, launches tonight. D-Gods. I have never looked at these. So it's Facebook building the best NFT community in the universe from a garage in Los Angeles. Join us by getting a D-God or a Ute. Everything we do is crafted with love and care for the people in our communities. Roadmaps are stupid. This website is our version of a roadmap. I brought up a couple of other websites here so we can go over, because I've not done my own research. I don't know if you guys do your own research a lot, but you guys probably know the Captains. They had this reveal the other day. Anime quality art, they said. 9,999 pirate captains searching for the legendary meme land. With their pirate crews, explore the broken seas in search of the legendary treasure known as Meme Land. Join them in their quest for glory, fortune, love, and of course, memes. The Premier Collection, the Captains, I just read that, utility-enabled PFPs that feature rarity-powered traits inspired by pirates, internet memes, and pop culture. Captains have many perks. Two of the most highly anticipated ones are Meme and Treasure Islands. We can't share too much right now. We can say that Meme is not a regular NFT token that normal people don't care about. Treasure Islands are not your regular metaverse that feels like a digital ghost town, and they are built different, and Captains will have first access, pinky promise. From the team that brought you 9gag comes Meme Land, a Web3-focused venture studio. We are building and investing in social products for community with community. So they have 420 trophies, the potatoes, the Captains, and then Treasure Island. Holders.com. TripAdvisor for your Web3 journey, GMGM, Web3 OnlyFans, close required, Stakeland, making crypto staking fun, and then Pets Land for pet lovers only. So Art Blocks is another one that I think a lot of people aren't really familiar with. These move, or is it just like stagnant? No, they're just the way they are. Oh, you can act, wow, okay, that's cool. So you can like zoom out, but then also zoom in, and if you zoom in enough, we got some particles going on. At Legends of Mara, which is another thing that I think a lot of people aren't really paying attention to at all. I think the team's designed something that really is going to prop up the entire market around this game. So we saw the other day, they posted the other day where heavies are going to be in Legends of Mara, and then they highlighted this table of different collections. So Ranga, Wagmi San, or 10KTF, sorry, Forgotten Runes, Wizard Cult, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Meebits, World of Women, Cryptodes, Mutant Hounds, Codas, and then these are like the vessel things that are going on in the background, right? It is going to bring a lot of collections together to play a game. And so this now takes all these potentially hundreds of thousands of other collectors, which I don't think it's that high, but let's just say tens of thousands of other collectors that now have these assets, and you're like, hey, come play this Legends of Mara game, but you need another deed to play it, or there's some kind of a component where you're able to participate in the game in some capacity from having those assets. But let's kind of dive into that a little bit more. And there's vessel nesting, okay? An other deed expanded NFT has many uses, and it will be first served as the board for the 2D web-based game Legends of Mara. In Legends of Mara, you will need at least one other deed expanded NFT and at least one of the following to play: a Coda Mara, or vessel, right? Or a Mara, which is what the vessel's first hatched into. So it's saying right off the bat that you're going to need them if you're wanting to play, but then it doesn't mention any of these other collections. It just says the vessels. So to me, that insinuates the activation of these other collections might not be at the beginning of when this launches, or there could be a twist and we find out a little bit more of that a little bit later. So only one vessel can be nested on any given other deed expanded at a time, so choose your first vessel or vessels to nest into Mara wisely. The mechanics of nesting will be further defined in the Legends of Mara white paper. So when we talk about the demand for the land pieces itself, this is a big component, because you can only hatch one of these vessels per land. So let's say that you're wanting to get up and get some more of these things, right? Because they're highlighting hunter or farmer. There's these enchanters. If you're wanting to hatch more than one at a time, you need that other land on top of potentially these other collections needing that land. And this is all completely subjective, but I'm just trying to paint the picture here. And I am strictly showing why I think this is very interesting and why we could see other games that have some kind of a land mechanic, whatever it be, because there's a lot of them out there, what it could kind of look like. The environment tier and worker capacity. Environment tiers matter. In Legends of Mara, an environment tier dictates the number of workers, Coda Mara, Farmer Mara, and Hunter Mara that you can allocate to an other deed. This capacity limit only applies to those in Hunter and Farmer roles, as enchanters do not affect worker placement capacity. An other deed expanded with an environment tier 4 will have a worker capacity of 4 in any combination of Coda Mara, Hunter Mara, and Farmer Mara. So if we go and try to find an other deed here, which, notice the difference, because there's this other deed collection which highlights that the vessel has not been claimed, and then there's the other one that says other deed expanded. If it says expanded, that means the vessel has been claimed on this, and that's why you're seeing the price difference of, a couple of 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, whatever, right? They were saying that the environment tier is what matters. So if we go to environment tier and we go to 5, it shows that there's only 4,728 of them. So on number 5 here, this one's a little bit above the floor, about 0.1, 0.12. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. And you're able to put 5 different vessels in there. But remember, you can only have one nesting, hatching, whatever at a time. And so that's where things get a little bit crazy, depending on what kind of capacity you're working with. And oh my God.
Yoga art sucks. Change my mind.
That's something you should look at. If you're thinking, hey, I have a bunch of different vessels, but only one plot of land, check your land. Because if you're in environment tier 5, if you're wanting to play that to the maximum, you're going to need 5 vessels. And this goes back again to where, okay, the land has buying pressure. Now the vessels have buying pressure, but it's only some of these. So it's, that's kind of limited in a way, but let's keep going here. A Coda can be assigned as a hunter, farmer, or an enchanter on any given other deed. So looking at the prices of Codas, that's where things kind of go strange, because if you're thinking, okay, this plays a role of any of them, if you go and buy one of each of the vessels, like a fighter vessel is 0.2, a farmer's 0.3, so you're at basically 0.5, and then the enchanters, I think, 0.3, bit higher. Like, we can look in a second, but then the codas are going for almost 5 ETH. And this kind of just highlights everything in a graphic. One farmer or hunter worker per environment tier. Separate enchanter capacity rules will be revealed later. And a coda can be assigned to hunt, farm, or enchant, but one at a time. So, sediment tiers and fragments. In last week's update, we shared how environment tiers affect worker capacity in Legends of Mara. Tiers matter when it comes to sediment too. The higher your sediment tier, the more sediment fragments your other deed will produce. Other deeds with the sediment tier 3 have the best production, while sediment tier 1 has the least. A farmer on an other deed expanded enables fragment harvest, and additional farmers and enchanters enhance the production. Regardless of production, the native sentiment will always produce the same type of fragment. So other deeds with sediment tier 3 have the best production. So let's go back and check. They were saying that sediment tier 3 is the best. And so the lowest ask is 0.7 on them. And to get one that produces the most is basically at floor right now. And I think that's because nobody understands what the hell any of these do. And listen, if you see some person Twitter being like, this is a buy because only 50 are listed or only 1% is listed, absolutely block that person. There's like not a worse metric in the world than how many are listed, because as soon as the price goes up and or down, hundreds if not thousands of more get listed. So I think that's just the biggest load of baloney you've ever heard. Anywho, the higher your sediment tier, the more sediment fragments your other deed will produce. Sediment tier 3 have the best production, while sediment tier 1 has the least. A farmer on an other deed expanded enables fragment harvest. Additional farmers and enchanters enhance the production. Regardless of production, the native sentiment will always produce the same type of fragment. Okay, so more than gameplay, the collector metagame. The strategy behind Legends of Mara starts with the decisions we make as collectors. The game embraces a variety of different playstyles, each with their own strategic advantages. The decisions you make as the Voyager will not only guide your journey, but will influence the experience of other players in the ecosystem. Read on so you can choose wisely when the time comes. And then they have like a little bit of a graphic here. It's kind of like a Blue Eyes White Dragon with a farmer, an enchanter, and then a warrior, Mara. There are 3 types of vessels: hunters, farmers, and enchanters. Each can hatch into a corresponding type of Mara if properly nested. However, since only one vessel can be nested on an other deed expanded at a time, choosing which vessel to nest first will be one of the first decisions many players will face. A nested vessel eventually evolves into a Mara, which can be assigned to an other deed while your next vessel nests. You'll have an opportunity to combine your Mara with a seasonal catalyst and sediment fragments to evolve it into a Coda Mara. Coda Mara are more capable helpers in the fight to defend the other side than Mara, though their powers are greatly constrained compared to the ancient Coda. Okay, let's double back on this. A nested vessel eventually evolves into a Mara. So we buy the vessel, turns into a Mara, and then it can be assigned to another deed while your next vessel nests. Okay, so you can only have one nested at a time, but as soon as that's done, you can put the Mara on the land with the new vessel, and then you'll have an opportunity to combine your Mara with the seasonal catalyst and sediment fragments to evolve it into a Coda Mara. So this sounds like whatever the hell they're doing for heavy metal, that mechanic is staying for Legends of Mara. Because with heavy metal, which we haven't checked in a second, oh my god, they're not doing anything. We know that we are playing to get these amps, and the amps are what kind of upgrades and makes these better. So when that happens, we will be stronger, and it sounds like this is the kind of same thing within their game, so you're going to want a stronger Coda Mara. Coda Mara are more capable helpers in the fight to defend the other side. Importantly, Coda Mara are also a key part of the collector metagame. What they look like, trait rarity, and game function are all influenced by Voyager's choices and how the community as a whole leverages ingredients used to create them. So when we're looking at vessels, One of the other things that I thought was a little strange with this, but when they did those Gucci pendants, this to me like kind of gives a hint that like these are definitely going to be like characters, and it's not just something that is generic. It's showing that an other deed with a vessel equals a Mara, plus you add a catalyst with an optional sediment, and then your Coda Mara turns into a Bagners. Because it looks like there's a bag over its head, so it turns into Bagners. Coda holders wield a distinct advantage. Coda skipped the nesting process and are game ready for Legends of Mara. And this is maybe one of the best features of the Mara, is that you don't have to nest. Because we don't know how long the nesting is. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week. I'd have to assume that it would probably be relatively quickly, because if everybody's nesting their vessels for a month, I mean, maybe it's the same thing as this, and we're just on these games that are a lot slower. The Shattered. Voyagers can deploy their Coda Mara, and Mara to defend the other side from the Shattered. Mysterious titans that awaken shortly after the vessel has descended. Their presence poses a threat to the Mara, Coda, and the other side itself. The full extent of their power is still unknown. So, do you want to be sediment farming or battling the Shattered? Voyagers will have a choice between hunting Shattered for treasure and farming sediment tiers, or a mixture of the two. Why farm sediment? The recipe for producing the rarest of Coda Mara has been lost to time. It's up to Voyagers to experiment to determine which combinations of seasonal catalyst, sediment fragments, and Mara will yield the best results. There'll be a capped global supply of sediment fragments the Voyagers can gather, but once Voyagers combine sediment fragments with their Mara, sediment fragments are returned to the global supply, effectively replenishing the amount available to farmers. So there is a weird world that there could be some kind of a supply shock on certain sediment fragments. Because they're saying they're capped at a global supply of sediment fragments, right? And so maybe I'm wrong with assuming that it's like a single fragment. This kind of means if there is like a rarer one that takes longer to get, and you're approaching this cap on the fragments because so many people are farming it, then there's potentially like not many coming out of one of them. In this way, the amount of sediment fragments a Voyager can collect in a given period on a specific other deed will vary based on global activity, which effectively increases the strategic skills Voyagers need to employ to evolve their Maras for peak performance. Yo, what's going on, Armac? Arcade! The supply of seasonal catalysts will be limited in quantity, and each will have a different effect on each type of Mara. You'll want to proceed with caution before evolving Mara. The effects are irreversible. Okay, so we've literally just invented Axie Infinity breeding and turned it into a game. Like, am I wrong? Because if you're making these and then the combination it ends up garbage, well, you're just gonna dump that on the marketplace and somebody's gonna pick that up to play the game. So why battle the Shattered? When a Shattered is defeated, it leaves behind a treasure. The more efficiently a Shattered is defeated, the more rare and exclusive the treasure. And I'm guessing this is actually what the game looks like. I've not seen screenshots before. Alpha testing gameplay footage of Shattered loot drop, subject to change. The way that this is showing, it kind of looks like it's a mobile game, just with the tabs on the top and just how small the window is. Maybe it's the graphic. I don't know. For example, environment tiers dictate possible Shattered rewards such that Tier 1 other deeds will compete only against other Tier 1 other deeds for a specific pool of Shattered treasure. So this is awesome, but something maybe you should pay attention to is that if you have like a Tier 4 or 5, and you know for a fact you're not going to be getting extra land, extra quotas, extra vessels, then maybe trading down your Tier whatever to a Tier 1 could be a play. Tiers compete to tiers, so you can only put X amount of characters on your board, and then you are good. In future seasons, artifacts and resources will come into play, and more about each other deed's trait meaning will be unveiled over time. You want to fine-tune your strategies in a meta that's constantly evolving based on the decisions of other Voyagers, and equip your other deed wisely to compete against them. Legends of the Mara will have a global leaderboard listing environment tiers separately. That leaderboard will track the damage dealt by each Voyager's team and the time it took to take down a Shattered. The race to defeat the Shattered as fast as possible will be tracked, with the collection of treasures or other items going to each season's top contenders per environment tier. These items, similar to the treasures the Shattered leave behind upon defeat, are limited and seasonal. I have no idea what the hell this is, but it looks like a flying island boat route thing. Season 1 of Other Side Legends of Mara will launch this summer. And again, we are June, July, August. Those are the summer months, and we're almost halfway through July. It's just the beginning as we progress through Season 2 and beyond. The team plans to adapt and expand the game's mechanics offerings. We'll continue to dispatch information regarding Legends of Mara, game mechanics, and strategy in the coming weeks to help Voyagers prepare to defend Other Side. You won't be going into battle alone, Voyagers. Other Side will be announcing alliances, both with other Yuga PvP collections and with a select group of third-party PvP collections, to enlist reinforcements into the Legends of Mara battle. Owning one of these Battle Ally NFTs creates more ways to vanquish the Shattered and gather the treasures. For example, a low-tier environment with limited hunter slots could gain a strategic upper hand in fighting the Shattered, possibly leading to a better spot on the leaderboard. What we've kind of done this session is bringing up our heavy metals when we need, like quad, but otherwise going to check out collections that A, we haven't looked at, period, or B, we haven't looked at in a hot minute. Yeah, so the wearables here. There's $100 floor. We just do dollars. 900, newest listings, low. Okay, so $8 is a floor for these socks. Listen, you can buy digital socks for $8. That was decent. They follow me. I don't know why. They followed me like forever ago. But here's the avatars. It's kind of giving me the Huxley vibes right off the rip. Manifest begins July 6th, which was yesterday? No, it's 2 days ago. Play to Mint Avatar Challenge coming soon. Connect and save your wallets to your parallel account to be considered for Manifest. What is Play to Mint? In the expanding parallel universe, avatars serve as the gateway to new experiences. Avatars are first in line to try our new activities and activations as they premiere. With their catalog of games looking to expand in the coming years, you can expect to see your avatars as main characters within those experiences, and maybe even within storytelling elements. Welcome to the new frontier. During the upcoming parallel beta, a portion of the avatar supply will be available for those that complete the avatar challenge. More info on this challenge closer to the beta. So now you have the question in video games. Do you want to pay for the avatar if you think you're not going to be a good enough gamer? Or do you risk it for the biscuit? And this is a hot take. The world's first AI game. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to call BS on that, but I like the clickbait. Parallel Colony offers a new type of gaming experiences where your worlds have power. Add your avatar to an ever-growing colony and interact with them in new and incentive ways. Days! Now Runway, Teletubbies-inspired digital fashion comes to Second Life. We're not clicking that. 10 ordinal metas everyone should know. I mean, just because I'm uneducated on this, I'll take a peek. Teleburning. Teleburning is the act of teleporting an NFT to Bitcoin from another chain by burning it on the origin chain and then inscribing it onto Bitcoin. I like how it's literally just like right-click saving, but then saying that we're inscribing it. I mean, like, I get it. You know, I get it. It's cool. It's cool. On Twitter, you probably seen the other day a whole bunch of people talking about a CryptoPunk getting burned. Well, ball banger. There you go. File type. Ordinals is an abstract protocol that supports far more than just JPEGs. You can inscribe any file type fully on-chain onto Bitcoin. People have inscribed songs, videos, games, books, and much. The Ordinals protocol will soon get an upgrade, which will enable on-chain provenance for collections. The way this will work is every collection will have a parent inscription that all of the children inscriptions will point to. Which inscriptions are in what collection is... Listen, I understood the top part here of, like, burning. Now that we're getting down here, I'm getting a little bit lost. But they're doing a proposal right now where they're arguing about, do we change the background? And for the background of it, it's like literally, right? These are the ones right now. And then the bottom is the proposed change. Thoughts? In a surprising turn of events, Japanese gaming giant Sega has announced its retreat from blockchain initiatives, with the play-to-earn model of blockchain gaming criticizing them as boring and no fun. Yo, who's in his back pocket telling him this is garbage? Come on now, brother. The about face comes on the heels of Sega's partnership in late 2022 with Japanese studio Double Jump Tokyo to develop a blockchain-based card game on the Oasis blockchain. Okay, so first problem is I don't know what the hell Oasis blockchain is, and second of all, they were choosing to build a card game, so this was probably a great decision to scrap it. Sega withdrawal comes at the heels of Square Enix announcing a partnership with blockchain gaming platform Elixir to foster visibility and adoption of Web3 games among traditional gamers. So this is the part where you find out who's a complete dumbass. Now that sounds harsh, but you have one founder who's like, this Web3 thing is bull. We ain't touching it. Screw that. And then you have another that's like doubling down on it, getting into it as much as possible. Now, do we know which one is the dummy? No, we don't, because Web3 it could be complete garbage. What the hell do we know? But Clone X. The shoes in Times Square. Love the realistic effect. We got a lot of different ones here. Holy. They're showing these new characters that kind of look like Pokemons. Sorry for the little bit of jarring there. But this is, it's like a 12-second, I don't know if you call it a trailer. I guess you call it a trailer. But kind of just highlighting some things that look like they're coming. Which, that looks like a pretty substantial launch with the Animus, which, that makes me realize that they dropped those eggs forever ago, and they're sitting at 0.43 right now. What would you rather have? We went over the Legends of Mara earlier today. Would you rather have an Animus egg? And don't forget, you got Fluff World eggs at like 0.04 too. Yeah, so these are 0.19, and there's supposed to be 100,000 of these. The supply is going to get double from where it is. So, I mean, one could argue the floor could fall from double. The Animus, we are at 16,000. I don't know. That number seems weird. Royalty's 10%, though. I wonder if they let you run into this thing yet. Everyone's spamming LA. Explore main entrance.